together by my friend Badass Messer. He found like a good queue that happens every single level in Super Monkey Ball 2. Yeah, but like, is that wrong? Solar Fair? Like, honestly, that would be the way to go. If I'm the company, if I'm the consumer, I don't think anyone really loses from that. When you really think about it. Like, they get a higher chance of success because it's a series that people already enjoy, and then Zelda fans get something totally new and exciting, and still like a high-budget Zelda game. Like the Zelda fans who are in it for the Zelda story, still get what they want. The Zelda fans who are in it for dungeons still get that. Like it's kind of like a really low risk scenario. But yeah, basically every single level, after finishing it, we menu down to stage select in order to skip the animation that plays after you finish the level. And it looks for that. It looks for the button clicking on stage select. And every time it sees that, it splits. I've seen a lot of games struggling to find a visual cue. Yeah, with a lot of games, it's like... It's not as, like, well-defined. Monkey Ball's lucky. In both challenge mode and story mode, there's a very clear wall between every level. There's a very clear point to split at. So I count us as lucky for having that. Like, I'm sure there are tons of games where people split at places that, like, look totally different every single time you get there, you know? Like, if it's not a loading screen, like, there might be an enemy in a different location that'll throw off the auto-splitter. So, yeah. Basically, it could only take off as much as it had. An image-based auto-splitter, it can only work with games where there's a consistent image every time you need to split. Which mine does, which is lucky. Open world Pokemon has been the dream of many Pokemon fans for decades. Yeah, exactly. There's so much excitement and adventure that could be boiled into that kind of scenario. And it's not like it's hopeless. There's still a chance. They have ideas in mind that, like, there are good ideas in Pokemon Sword and Shield. They just gotta fix a lot of the mistakes. Maybe for next game, or maybe even just in the form of updates, who knows. Updates would be sick. Imagine, like, I don't even have to skip the game. I can just wait for it to be updated and then buy it then. That'd be sick. Only game I've seen it work for is Loadless Timer for the new Spyro game. Loadless Timer. I don't know, what is a loadless timer? I played Spyro, but I don't know what that would mean. What that would entail. What does the always player look for? What caused Zelda worked because they did an amazing job and blew everyone away, so that even skeptics who were upset about losing dungeons and key items couldn't complain. Oh, no. Well, I'm not saying all games should be open world. But there's no harm in trying. Like, just because Zelda got an open world game doesn't mean every single Zelda game from now on is going to be open world. Like, I think Breath of the Wild is going to be a very special series. Like, for example, we just got a remake of LADX, which is like a totally classic style Zelda game. And I'm sure there's going to be more main series ones that are just like the originals. So, I say if a company's willing to try their best, put their heart and soul into it, they can try it with anything they want. And if it's a good game, I'll try it out and I'll enjoy it. Some things wouldn't work, but if they do a good job, why not? There's really no downside to a company trying something new and pulling it off. Like even if they do it well, it's not saying, hey, this is how all things have to be from now on. If they do it well, it's a good thing. If they don't do it well, then they probably won't try it again. So that's just how it works. You gotta be able to experiment, though. Experimentation is good. Innovation is good. The new Spyro game was released on a bunch of different consoles. People running on PS4 was losing time to PS4 Pro players. Made a time that looks loads for... Hold on. I can't read every... I could read an entire message, in between levels, but it would lose its meaning. Looks for spiral flying through the air where the gems get counted, and it pauses the timer on that screen. Oh, that's really cool. That's like really advanced, actually, auto-splitting. Monkey Ball has not yet had that problem, because, well, we do. The only time that's come up is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. But the way it works is everyone just plays it on the same console if they're speedrunning it. But not often is there enough consoles for a game to be on. A Monkey Ball game to be on where it matters. We usually just go for RTA. But yeah, Deluxe, the Xbox version is way faster than the PS2 version. Which is unfortunate, because I guess if you don't have an Xbox, you just don't really have the same option to speedrun it, but... Then again, I don't have an Xbox or PS2, so I've never gotten to play Deluxe at all. I'm gonna remind you of this conversation when Sega introduced an open world Monkey Ball game. Okay, I don't trust Sega with innovating with Monkey Ball, Solar Fair. This is different. Monkey Ball, I would like 0 calls to innovation. I would like them to go back to the basics, because they have tried innovating 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and they have failed every time. They can stop now. That's a very different situation. Nintendo has innovated with things and created amazing products. Sega? Every time they innovate, we get Monkey Ball Step and Roll. And weird level design, and Monkey Ball 3D, which is too easy, and Touch and Roll with touchscreen controls, which is a great game. It's just why touchscreen controls? Why? Why do you have to make everything so unique but bad? Every time they innovate, we get Sonic Lost World. Well, I'm not saying Sega shouldn't innovate, I'm just saying they gotta actually do it well. Which is hard, I guess. But they're a company, they got money, they've got testers. I know I couldn't do it, but you can expect a little bit more, I think. That's how I feel about Pokemon. I don't want 20 new crazy things like Dynamax Upworld. I just want a new Pokemon, a new gang, new Elite Four. Yeah, that's how I feel now. I was all about it, but no, I guess I still disagree. I think Pokemon needs refreshing takes on it, but they have to not take away all the things that made it good in the process. Like me and my friend Parafight have always been talking about how Pokemon needs a better story. Like it's been the same thing again and again and again. And Mega Evolutions were cool. And that was totally new, and people were worried about that. They thought it was too different, but people ended up enjoying Mega Evolutions. And Poke-ME, being able to pet Pokemon, that was huge. And that's really cool. That's innovation. That's good innovation. They didn't have to take anything away from us in order to do it. Pokemon Peta was kind of a neat storyline. Yeah, Pokemon Black and Black 2 actually had some of the better stories. I agree, actually. That's a better example of a Pokemon story. But it's never, like, totally different. It's a team. They want a legendary. They're going to use it to take over the world. Like, you could do crazy stuff with Pokemon. There's a lot of opportunity there for a completely different story. I like small innovations like day and night and weather, and even regionals are okay, but Mega and Z moves? I didn't really get the point of Z moves. I guess it's like a trade-off. You can use one move, make it a bit more powerful every now and then. But it didn't really make things interesting for me. Megas is neat because you can only have one Mega on your team, and it no longer can hold an item, so it's a trade-off. But you get to breathe new life into Pokemon that otherwise never would be used. So I'm not saying Mega Garchomp needed to exist, because he definitely is already a strong Pokemon, but like Mega Altaria. I freaking love Altaria. Mega Altaria is a new, cool-looking version, and like she's good enough to use in the competitive scene. Like Megas breathe new life into some Pokemon. Z moves, it just makes the move somewhat stronger once per game, per battle. Z moves I get. Megas I'm down for. I dig Megas. Did you watch that short series Pokemon anime? Like each episode was something like 6 minutes. Those are pretty hype episodes. You mean Pokemon Origins? The one that like followed like the actual game characters instead of Ash and stuff? Sounds right, I forgot the name. Yeah, Pokemon Origins was a really cool thing, actually. It was neat. It was just like, it kind of came out of nowhere, but they're like, hey, we're gonna make an anime. And it's like the games, you got like Red and stuff, and like, it's sick. It had like some neat crossover, too, like, even though it like followed the story of Pokemon Red in the first episode, at the end, like, there's like a Mega Evolution fight, like, it was pretty funky. Very cool. I could see why you couldn't make a whole anime off of Red, though, because he's not very, like, I guess charismatic. But it was a neat little bonus thing that they did. And they did it for a couple other generations too, right? I did watch that though, that was very cool. Honestly, Pokemon anime is like one of the better things that Pokemon has. Like, the shows are usually really good. A lot of what Pokemon makes is gold. But the games are what I care most about. And I don't want them to be done lazily, I guess. But the games also sell those other stuff, so I can see why they want to have a new game out really quickly, but I don't know. Is it worth it? Yeah, removing HMs was a good play. For sure. Wow, that was some funky collision. That collision is asking for me to just finish the stage normally, so I will. Like, usually I retry because I lose all my speed, but I still had speed after that, so whatever. I'll take my 40. Better than retrying multiple times and failing. No, Ash is not an example of a very, very, very cool and strong protagonist like Red. Ash is a relatable little kid. Like we all were when we were little kids playing Pokemon. We didn't know what moves to use. So, he works. He works for his target audience. And he's likable enough. Arthropod looks faster, not pausing. How much time does pause strats save? Pause strats only save, well, pause strats save a lot of time throughout the run. But Arthropod's fastest strat is pauseless, yes. But yeah, no, pause strats only save time when they do something that you can't do RTA. That, like, causes a huge difference in the kind of strats you do. Like, for example, this stage, beat screen. What I have to do pauseless is I have to go and press 2 buttons and then finish. There's a pause strat that lets you time going right into the beat screen without freezing it, and it kicks you into the goal. And it saves 3 seconds. Even though you lose a bit of time from pausing, you save time because you get to do something way faster than you could using human reaction times. It's kind of like a little bit of like simulated micro tasks mid-run. It's a tough skill to learn, but it lets you pull off some really flashy stuff. I'm running this category because, like, I like pause strats, myself. I'm running this category because it's the one story mode category I don't have. It bans use of pauses because they do change the game a lot. But it's also a somewhat slower category. But there are a lot of fast stuff you can do without pausing. Like, a lot of the meta is doing things pauseless that people used to pause on these days, so... There aren't a lot of big differences, but you'll see in World 10 there are a lot of really slow stages that can be skipped with pause strats. Is your dog okay? The one crying outside my room? Yeah, he's fine. He just wants to go into my little sister's room, but she's not home right now because she's at school, and he doesn't know it. So, he's trying to get me to open her door, But there will be no reward if I do that. I'll talk to them after this run, though. He really likes my little sister, but she's just not home right now. Bork. Yes! The things that sucked about HMs, I agree with that solo fair. I think HMs could have stayed if they got a separate, like, HM slot. Because I think it's kind of cool using your Pokemon to do stuff in the real world. Like, it's very neat. Like, it kind of simulates how Pokemon can be, like, have powers that, like, actually affect the world, you know? But, yeah, you hate them, because most HM moves aren't that good, and they take up actual moves you want to use for battling. So, they do kind of suck. And it's good that it's better that they got removed. And the ride Pokemon, they're okay. I don't really care. That was how they decided to implement it. I'm cool with that. It would take a lot of work for them to let you ride, like, a lot of different Pokemon. Like, if they, like, actually animated, like, you were riding, like, 100 different Pokemon you could catch to do it. So I get why they didn't do that. That's asking a lot. So the removal of HMs was good. That's a good innovation. Well, not innovation. Like, just fixing something that was kind of, like, broken for a long time. Like, basically everything Nintendo's done with Pokemon, or Game Freak, I guess, has been good changes. Pokemon Sword and Shield is the first time where people are genuinely, like, really upset with some of the decisions that are being made. If anyone's curious about the difference between Pauseless and Paused, I can show you some of the really, really big pause strats after this run. Just because the difference is huge. For sure. I like, well, they've made more decisions before, it's not nearly as many at once. Yeah, I think I meant that. Most of the stuff they've done has been improvements. Not everything, for sure. This is a particularly bad situation, though. I guess for my enjoyment, some of the stuff that they've done has affected me less than this stuff. Like, to pull me into the mix, you had to take away some pretty, like, easy features. The experience share is the one that really gets me. The only experience I have with this game is watching Chomsky and trying a little on my own. Watching high-level runners blow my mind hole. Thank you, yeah. It gets crazy. Anyone can try on their own, I'm glad you have. Hope you enjoyed it. But the amount of, like, crazy stuff you can pull off when you put the work into it, you know? Like, this game just has a crazy high skill ceiling. It's awesome. That's probably why you're talking about Arthropod. You've probably seen the Arthropod pause strat. That's a great strat to start off with when you start learning the game. I think Chomsky does it. But yes, the top level strat is to drop down to the bottom. Man, it saves time over that strat. It's also worth noting that people would probably be a lot less unhappy with Sword and Shield if Game Freak had dealt with breaking the news a little bit better. There's just been a lot of a mystery and ambiguity, and people are not quite sure why it's happening. And then whenever someone pulls out an example of a not so high quality animation like they were promised, it makes people even more upset. Like, it's a bit of a PR problem too. Or that's what I thought anyway, but now I've seen a lot of really bad examples of stuff that I just could not have imagined them doing. Okay, missed a cycle. There's a really tight strat you can do there to save an extra, like, 10 seconds, but... Or, like, 8. Didn't quite get it. This is fine, though. That saves time on my PB. You see that Luke Rimmer, the reason the National Dex is cut is because the program that used to transfer Pokemon over to new games broke and they couldn't salvage it. I did read that. It was like coming from someone who said they actually like worked with the devs or something. I don't buy into those too easily. Lots of times when there's controversy with game companies, someone pretends to be a developer and like tries to leak and explain why all these horrible decisions were made. You can usually take this with a grain of salt. Like maybe it's true, but like I'm not quite sure if I believe that that was from a good source. I think I've seen the same post you're talking about though. If it is true, like I guess that would explain some stuff, but it doesn't really change what's happened. Alright, much better double spiral. It's only a huge deal because everything else is bad. People expected the one thing they promised, better graphics, to be perfect. Yeah, of course. That's why every other day people are posting animations of posting examples of bad animation. Like people are now like they've basically they've created a big problem for themselves because people are actively seeking out bad examples of animation in the game. So yeah, it's a problem. It's pretty crazy. There are 4 penguins, 2 penguins went east, the other 2 went west. Whoa, another penguin joke. This is cool. Alright. I'm ready. Penguin jokes are always good. You can tell by that one I told earlier. Oh, my little sister just came home. Perfect. Good timing. Poor dog was getting sad. I knew she was coming home soon. That's probably why he was crying. He was like, she should be home by now. I get it, puppy. Okay, that's alright. Bork, bork, bork. Entangle Path gets so hard when you're rusty, man. Entangle Path, I used to not even think about Entangle Path on good runs. Like when I got Story Mode World Record a long time ago, when I got to Entangle Path, I was like, I'm gonna get it. I know I am. Now, second try is good. Here's Game Freak's fix, though. If I could, as a layman, as an unexperienced, non-developer Pokemon man, I would say the best form of damage control would be to just push some updates to bring back some of the really easy features that they removed. Just divide up the experience in the way that it worked before Experience Share was always on, you know? Maybe even slowly reintroduce Pokemon back. That would be a big one for some people, not as much for me. Take away that level catch gap where you can't catch Pokemon of a certain level above you. Like, a lot of those are pretty quick fixes. As far as, like, maybe it'll mess with their balance. I don't know what their level curve is. I don't know what they're going for with some of these decisions. So I can't tell you why they did them, so maybe I'm not smart enough to know how to fix these mistakes. But that's what I would do. 2 penguins went east, the other 2 went west. Which one makes the right turn? 2 went east, 2 went west. Which one makes the right turn? Like, which one had turned right? Wait, there are 4 penguins. 2 went east, 2 went west. Which one turns right? Well, why are they turning right? At what point do they have to turn? I thought they just go a direction. The fix is to say we're going to delay... Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that they need to release quickly to sell, like, merchandise and shows and stuff, like, they're restrained. They can't just delay. That's the problem. They're stuck. It's not as easy with the Sonic movie. With the Sonic movie, no one asked for the Sonic movie, so it being delayed is like, okay, whatever, goodbye, Sonic movie. But with Game Freak, they're forced. They, like, higher-ups for sure a ton, and they have to release by Christmas or by whatever, whenever they're going to sell the merchandise and the show and the toys. They can't do that. So they have to just patch it, right? They have to make a big deal about patching in the stuff they removed. Sonic movie being delayed is a blessing. Exactly. It helps to delay something to make it better. We were talking about the Sonic movie earlier, Helix, actually. It's crazy, isn't it? He looks wonderful. He looks fine. He doesn't look diseased. He's good. But the problem is Game Freak doesn't have that choice. They can't just delay because they're being forced to release at a certain point. There's so much of Nintendo's money is from Pokemon. Like, changing schedules is just not easy. But yeah, that new trailer is really epic. He looks fine. Fine, happy, and healthy. I'm proud of Sonic. I'm gonna slow down a little bit. I think I screwed up the cycle. I got there a little bit too early, so I had to slow down. That's fine, though. Yeah, wow, that only loses like 3 seconds. Alright. Not bad. 2 are facing east and 2 are facing west. But when do they turn? They're already facing, so they just go. Who makes the turn? I wonder if the news cycle was the one who was originally released, people would have said it looked bad. Oh yeah, honestly. Like, that's why I think people believe it's a PR stunt. Because New Sonic looks a lot better, but like, did people ask for it? You know? It's not that he looks terrible, it's that, would people be excited about a Sonic movie? I mean, video game movies kind of have a curse of their own. That's why people think it's a PR. I don't think it's a PR stunt. I think they just screwed up the original design, personally. But I can see why, because, like, who's going to get excited about a Sonic movie unless it looks hideous and now looks better? Like, and even then, some of the Sonic for the movie design is a little bit different than what Sonic actually looks like, and nitpickers would pick that out. Like, his arms aren't the color that people prefer. His eyes aren't, like, one big eye, exactly. Like, it's definitely a little bit different, but it's such a huge improvement, people don't care. The point is they're in a zoo. Oh! I get it. It's one of those outside the box, don't overthink kind of questions. Well, then all of them will have to turn eventually because they're going to hit the bars of their cage. Easy. I win. What do I win? That's true. No, Detective Pikachu was a really cool thing. It's so different from what you'd expect a Pokemon movie to look like, but it worked. They did it right. I don't like this gimmick button. Whatever. This is like a 13 or something. My gimmicks are bad in runs. In practice, I can get a 19, but when I get into a run, ugh, 15. It's alright. I still don't get it. I go with the flow. I told one of the most confusing and like horrible jokes earlier today. I think we're allowed to have this zoo joke. It's a little bit. It's a refreshing take. Alright, turn or corrector. Now, Soulfair wants more. No more. He's not going to give up on the joke. I gave up on it because I was confused and I like the zoo ending. I could have made it all the way, actually. I didn't have to slow down there. That was a really good clip. But how are you supposed to count on that, right? Just get it right first try, you know? Whoa! My phone! I don't know this number. Although it's from Toronto, I might know someone in Toronto, actually. Okay, it ended. That was quick. I did not turn it off. Where's your brain? Where's your brain? That's good, actually. That's a good parody. Because both versions work. Where is it? And it wears it down. I like it. Oh, thanks, Postmodern, for that, by the way. That was cool. Hey, you took away all my speed. Just like that. I love stairs in ball game. It's a good thing all the hard stuff has gone right first try, or else I'd actually be worried about getting an unoptimal Postmodern. I got 37 earlier today. That was nuts. That's like less than 3 seconds off the world record for Postmodern skipless IL. Complex? Archie? Nope. I tried both. That's bad. Okay, try again. Archie? Nope. It works. Archie? I've been yelling Complex all day because he invented that strat, but it hasn't worked, so I figured I'd try Archie. I don't know. Gotta try, you know. If I learn anything from Celeste, it's that I can count on Archie. Guess not. That strat's a little bit, finicky. Yes, a clip! Oh, thank you for the clip! You have blessed me on this day. Alright. You guys see the world record at the top. We just gotta get this within 3 tries. And I can usually get it first try. There it is.